Does that person have to be an attorney, or is that oftentimes
no.
a layperson or a loved one, a family member?
Many times it's a family member.
Okay.
And having that will, you're able to nominate who you would like to serve in that position.
Sure.
So most often it is a family member.
You could have an attorney or
you could.
Bankers possibly.
That's
folks
right.
That handle funds.
What happens in many cases is you have a family member, and that family member may retain an attorney to assist them with the administration. And sometimes they will appoint an attorney as the actual personal representative.
Right, right. Now, wills, of course, when folks, surely the educational side of really encouraging folks to get out there and actually look at attorneys, talk to attorneys before crafting. Is an attorney necessary for crafting a will, Deirdre?
It's preferred.
Preferred,
you
yes.
know, one of the things we do in the probate court is we resolve disputes among the family members. And what we see is when people draft their own wills, more often than not, they create problems that they don't even realize they're creating when they draft their own will. Having an attorney means that you've got someone who is experienced in preparing wills, knowing what should be in a will, knowing how to write the will so that it's not ambiguous, so that there are no scrivener's errors in the will, so that it properly sets forth what you intend and what you want to do with your property. And I think it's very important for people to at least make that visit to an attorney and have a properly drafted will. It will save a lot of headache down the road after a person has passed away to have a properly drafted last will and testament.
Of course, most folks think they're either invincible or I'll live forever, can't imagine dying. I mean, that idea until later in life. Is there an early age that you start encouraging folks to think seriously? Is it around the time of marriage, possibly?
Whenever a person gets married, whenever they have a really big change in their life, either marriage or divorce or having children, or maybe they have minor children that now become adults, or they inherit some property themselves, they receive property, they accumulate their own property. That's a good time for them to consider having a will prepared. And certainly you need to update that will when those big events happen in your life.
Is a will the only estate document that I should have? I mean, is that really all I need?
No, absolutely.
I know these are frequently asked questions. Probably, actually, a couple of these I pulled off the Horry County Probate Court website, which has a lot of great information. Just visiting horrycounty.org and clicking on the probate court, you've got a slew of questions. A lot of people, of course, want to just pick up the phone and call. And you said 915-5370.
That's right.
That's the number. Well, what about it? Is the will enough, or do I need anything else?
You know, another very important document is a durable power of attorney.
Okay, what's
what
that?
we do in the probate court is we handle, in addition to administering estates, is we handle guardianships and conservatorships for adults who are incapacitated. And having a durable power of attorney in many cases will eliminate a family from having to do a guardianship and conservatorship for someone who's becoming incapacitated. And a power of attorney is a document that you execute while you're competent, giving someone else the legal authority to handle your affairs if you become incompetent. So someone can step into your place and have that authority that they need under the law to sign checks for you, to handle your home, your mortgage, your retirement, Social Security, apply for benefits for you, pay your bills, deal with your automobile, your credit cards, your Social Security, things of that nature. And it's effective during your lifetime.
During your lifetime?
During your lifetime. So it allows someone to step into your shoes if you become incompetent and handle your financial affairs, your property, all those things that still need to be taken care of even if a person becomes incompetent. And having that power of attorney in many, many cases eliminates the guardianship and conservatorship action, which is a proceeding in the probate court to actually have you declared incapacitated, to make a finding that you cannot handle your affairs because of incapacity, and then to appoint someone to do that for you. And you can do that ahead of time yourself with a good, durable power of attorney.
That's wonderful. And of course, one of the great aspects there, this is actually coming up much more common than folks are aware of. When they think of probate, of course, they think of estates and wills and obviously passing on items through an estate, but guardianship and conservatorship is really something you all deal with.
An awful lot of work with guardianships and conservatorships. Almost as much as we do with estates, because people do not plan that they're going to become incapacitated. They don't plan, they don't think ahead. You know, an accident, we see many people, young people, that are involved in automobile accidents or some type of debilitating illness very quickly, and they're unable to handle their affairs, and their family has to come to the probate court. So it's something that can be avoided in many cases just by taking that step to visit an attorney and execute a good durable power of attorney.
I saw one of the frequently asked questions that I bet a lot of folks think is, do I need to file my will in the probate court? The answer was very short and sweet, but
not till you pass away.
Okay.
We do not file those in the probate court until you pass away.
Where's the best place for someone to keep a will if they, or that durable power of attorney? Obviously, if they used an attorney to craft that, I assume the attorney's offices can hold those, or no?
Well, sometimes attorneys will hold those. I think most attorneys have gotten away from holding the original documents.
Okay.
Usually they return them now.
Right.
Many years ago, I think attorneys retained the original wills for people, but many times now I think they give them back. The most important thing about keeping your original will is to make sure that it's in a safe, secure place, that your family can access that will if you happen to pass away. We often see people come into the probate court and they can't find the original will.
Right.
And you have to have the original to informally probate that will.
Okay.
We can probate a copy, but it's much more costly and time-consuming to have to admit a copy.
Right.
So you need to keep that in a safe place. I recommend to people that they put it in a safety deposit box.
Sure.
Or if they have just a fireproof lockbox at home, that they can retain it in that lockbox.
And make sure and let a loved one know where it is. Yeah.
They need to be able to find it.
Very important.
Absolutely.
Particularly that original. You know, I think about my own daughter. If something happened to me now and she was to be a beneficiary of a life insurance policy, is that something that goes through the probate court?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
If a person is named as the beneficiary of a life insurance policy individually, then that is not considered probate property. It doesn't pass pursuant to a person's last will and testament. It passes to that person as beneficiary in accordance with the terms of that life insurance policy that the decedent had with the insurance company.
Okay.
They still have to file paperwork and make the claim for the insurance, but it is done outside of the probate court.
Great. Great. You know, I saw a whole litany of firsts that the Horry County Probate Court has gotten involved in. Deirdre, I assume this is much of what you originally campaigned on 6 years ago and have been able to enact, and then campaigning again just a couple of years ago.
That's right.
To make it happen. Conducted the first ever continuing legal education seminar for Horry County Probate Court.
We did.
This last year in 2007.
That was a great success.
Was it really?
It was. We thought we might have maybe 20 people. This was primarily for attorneys and their legal staff, but we had almost 55 people sign up for that first CLE, and it was a big success.
This is clearly something you're planning on
doing
many years to come?
Yes.
Yeah.
We will be planning another one probably for June, which is when we had it last year.
Clearly, the highlighting the voluntary pilot mediation program, another big first, and then just having an associate judge in the first place, and that have they gotten? Who are the two associate judges, by the way, and have they remained real busy?
Yes.
Was the need clearly justified?
The first associate judge is Kathy Ward, who has worked in the probate court for many, many years. She was the associate judge under my predecessors, and I made her an associate judge when I was elected. And then most recently last year I hired an attorney, Dundee Carter, who had practiced for several years down in Surfside Beach. She has her law degree, but she also has her master's in taxation. So she comes very, yes, a good background, and she has fit in very well with our court.
That is tremendous.
And you know, we have another first coming up in about 3 weeks. I forgot about this, but we are having a jury trial in the probate court.
Is that right?
Now, they had one probably 20 years ago,
but
you don't see jury trials in the probate court very much. Most
in
of the
any county, any of the 47?
Not very many at all. But we have had a demand for a jury trial, and we are going to have a jury trial, and I'll be presiding over that trial.
Is that right? Not to talk about specifics, but clearly that's handled just like any other
jury trial. We will have the clerk of court. We're working with the clerk of court to have the jury qualified. And they have to give us another courtroom because the probate court doesn't have a jury box. But we will still be in the judicial center, and we will have a jury trial. And the jury, of course, will decide the case, whereas in most of the cases, the judge is the one that determines the facts of the case based on the evidence and testimony, and then makes a decision based on the law.
Yeah, how exciting.
It will be
Deirdre.
exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
A great, I wonder how many other judges around the state are dealing with, or if they ever come up. Probably some counties that have never had a jury
That's right.
trial.
There are some counties that have never, and it has been many, many years since we had one in Horry County.
And another thing, clearly, which would be potentially difficult, would be a probate judge who didn't have a legal background, who overseeing a jury trial, maybe there may be some parameters there that he or she would want to turn to for some assistance. So it's great, clearly with you having been in the courtroom a number of times and dealt in jury situations to see that in action. Of course, another great thing is the new case management system that I think you all are working towards in the Horry County Probate Court. How's that rolling? We've just got a couple of minutes.
It's going very well. We have just about decided on the vendor that we're going to use for the case management. We've been working with our IT department. It will be a tremendous update from our case management system that we have now. It is a very old, antiquated system. Every time we want to make a change, we have to have a new program written for the case management system, and this new program will update our records. It will allow us to scan all the documents that are filed with the court so that they can be viewed on the computer. They will be digitized, and you will have access to them on the computer and actually see the document that has been filed with the court versus having to look at the hard file. So it's going to be a great upgrade.
Tremendous and great for education for the community, and the opportunity for the community to really get into stuff much more easily.
I'm looking forward to it.
That is fantastic, Deirdre. I think, of course, updating your website with new sample forms was another thing you all have really
Yes, we have incorporated some sample forms so that when people come in and we give them the big forms for the probate court, we actually have a sample that will show them how to fill it out and provide some explanation to them so that they will understand the terminology used in those forms. So I think that's going to be an added benefit to people.
Absolutely. You're really driven now as the probate court judge. It's really it's both all-consuming, but at the same time being very active still. And
very active. I think it's important to continue to upgrade our probate court, make it more conducive to the people's need, respond to people and their concerns and how they need to come to the probate court. We have many people that come through the probate administration on their own, without an attorney, without any legal assistance. And I have a tremendous staff. I rely on them every day for the expertise that they have acquired over the last 5 years. And they really assist the people of this county. I receive cards constantly, letters, just praising my staff, what a great job they do. They really have the heart for it, and they guide people through this difficult administration that most people know nothing about. But when they leave our court, they are so comforted to know that they have completed the administration and someone has walked them through this process. They are just so very grateful. And I think everyone in the probate court just loves what they're doing. They do a great job at it.
That's tremendous, Deirdre. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Sorry we've run out of time. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with the Honorable Deirdre Edmonds, Horry County's probate court judge, coming up next. We went through a lot of frequently asked questions, but I'm sure there's still more out there. You may be thinking of some that weren't answered in the last 30 minutes. Take the time to pick up the phone, 843-915-5370, 843-915-5370. There's also some great frequently asked questions online and some amazing answers. Take the time to go online to horrycounty.org. Click on Probate Court. It's not only Deirdre helping to answer these questions. You've got a staff of almost 20 folks. They want you to call. They want you to be informed. It's all about education. Horry County's probate judge, Deirdre Edmonds, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.